What's up, everybody, and welcome to another video. In today's video, you might notice the camera quality seems a little bit different, or at least I hope it does. If it doesn't, then that's too bad, because I'm currently shooting in a much darker scenario than I normally would be. And that's because I have a new camera. This is the DJI Pocket 3, which is very exciting. Now, I will say it's much heavier and currently not mounted to my head very well, so this video is going to be a little funny, but hopefully I'll be getting a new head mount soon that can cope with the weight of this camera, so yeah, we're going to figure that out. But anyways, as you can see, I customized my own Volt Pro a little bit. I added the black G10 to it, which I think looks honestly incredible with the orange. I'm really, really happy with the look of that black and orange together. But this video is not about the Volt Pro. No, no, no. This video is about the SquiddyWH, which you all have had a bit of time to sort of come to terms with existing. This video is about the SquiddyWH's existence and also its design process, I would say, is kind of the best thing to describe here. So on my phone right now, I actually have a number of files that were used in the original creation of the SquiddyWH, so we'll get to those in just a moment, but I wanted to start here with y'all. So obviously the idea for the SquiddyWH kind of came from these two products originally. We have the original Penny Tsunami and the original my custom, well, I wouldn't call it custom, but I built it myself, Squiddy. I guess it's custom. It does have the logo on it in the exact same place that the logo would later become on the SquiddyWH, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, this is kind of the impetus of the idea of the SquiddyWH becoming a thing. Now, before I go too deep into this video with this camera slowly falling off my head, I do want to talk about the upcoming drop. So this is the SquiddyWH. For those of you that don't know, there is going to be a drop on February 7th. 100 of these things will be dropping, and those 100 things will be signed, so they have like my signature in the side of the blade, as well as a first production number thing, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, that's the situation with that, and I'm doing my best to make this camera stay on. Oh my god, it's really not happy. It is slowly falling off my head in a way that does not feel great. I can't lie. Oh, that does not work. All right. Either way, yeah, there's going to be 100 of these things dropping. In the future, there will be more of them. This is actually going to be a product added to the Squid Industries lineup, so it's not just this first 100. The first 100 just happened to be the first thing that we're releasing. But alongside that, check this out. Ooh, this is the new box that we have. This just came in for me, and I'm very excited about it. It looks awesome. You can see it says SquiddyWH. It's got the Squid Industries logo, X Will Hirsch with my signature on there. It's got my little fox on either side of this, and it's just this beautiful orange color. Inside the box, you're going to get the Squiddy that'll come in the same packaging it normally does, and you'll get this little guy, which is pretty cool. This is a baggie that contains black O-rings, because now, by default, the SquiddyWH comes with orange O-rings, which I honestly think look fantastic. Truthfully, like, I am a big fan of how these orange O-rings look, so if you guys end up liking them, let me know, because I think they look sick as hell, honestly. But if you don't like them, it comes with black O-rings, so you can, replace them and make that whatever you actually want it to be. So, let's jump right in now. Once again, the drop is on February 7th at 11 a.m. PST, so set your clock. Get ready for that. It's coming. All right. So the impetus obviously was the original Squiddy with its stuff and whatnot, but now the place that this has evolved to is, pretty substantially different. This is the very first prototype for the SquiddyWH. So this is the first thing I received as an actual prototype for the SquiddyWH. When we were going through the design process, the first thing I thought was I really wanted it to be a fox related thing, obviously, but I wanted it to have a paw shape to the blade. I went back and forth with thinking about, okay, do I want a paw shape or like a fox face? And I landed on the paw shape because, truthfully, I wanted it to be really unique. I wanted it to be different than the stuff Squid has already done. And while a fox face would have been cool, it also would have been probably kind of hard to tell apart from something like the Squiddy-WH, which doesn't exist anymore, but Squid maybe could bring it back in the future. I don't know. And if they did, then that would be two animal-based face things, whereas the paw, I think, is much more distinct. I think there's not much like it, and so it makes for a really interesting proposition, personally. This right here, these are some of the original sort of design mock-ups for the paw. So my friend Carrie helped me with these. He's a friend of mine from high school, and he's an artist, and I reached out to him, and I was like, hey, would you mind helping me sort of trying to design this like techno paw print pattern I have an idea for? And so he kind of helped me sketch up a few different ideas, and then I took those ideas and put them into Adobe Illustrator and actually created the final thing that you see here. So you can see it actually is pretty dang similar to my creation. The actual setup of the paw is basically exactly the same as I sort of designed it. We did have to round it out in a number of areas to make the machining actually like physically possible. But yeah, I think it turned out fantastically. Now, this design then went through multiple iterations, and that is when I got this photo from Lucas, where you can see this is the first like thing of it existing at all. And this photo from Lucas had me and Brandon so unbelievably excited. I can't even begin to describe to you how excited we were. But as you can see, there's no handle pattern because at that point it was just the black handles. Now, we already had the orange Delrin. We already knew the handles were going to be orange. We had even already ordered the material, this material for those handles. It just hadn't arrived yet. It actually took a while because you have to custom order that stuff. So that material hadn't arrived yet, and so black was the first color we were working with. This was the temporary handle pattern as well as the temporary jimping. The jimping was problematic because this jimping really felt like sandpaper, truthfully. It was way too fine, it was way too small, and so it really felt like sandpaper. Whereas the jimping on the new one is much more spaced out and is a little bit shallower, and it feels a lot better. It doesn't feel like sandpaper on your skin. The other thing, too, is that there's actually two iterations of the newer prototype. So this is the older one, this is the newer one. On the older one, it was brushed on all four sides, where on the newer one, I decided that we would only brush it on the face and not on the sides because the actual, it became too soft. On the sides, there wasn't enough grip because of the brushing. The actual jimping wasn't as grippy as it could be. And you can kind of hear it's a little bit of a sharper sound on the new one, whereas the old one is a little bit more of a dull sound. And that kind of shows you how like it's dulled out and it's not as grippy there. Man, this camera is just straight up not working. I hope you guys are enjoying this edition of me like the camera slowly falling and then me bringing it back up. So yeah, this thing is really exciting to me. The actual design of the handles, though, was a bit of a work in progress. So as you can see, we literally just had a line and then my logo on there and then another line. And I think this idea was kind of neat, but also not what I was going for, really, because when I realized, like, oh yeah, my logo will be here, and then also it would be here, here, there, and there. So that's a lot of my logo on the Balisong all of a sudden. And that feels like too much. And then on top of that, this wasn't actually doing anything. Like, you couldn't feel it. It wasn't creating any extra grip. It wasn't doing anything. And so that wasn't going to work. We needed something that you could feel. And so we widened out those holes, and we turned it into this pattern. And you can actually see right here me going through a bunch of different ideas because I kind of determined that Squid's pattern was like a circle with a line connecting to another circle. So I wanted to kind of do something, you know, if you look right here, this looks exactly like the squid trainer handle, right? And so I was like, okay, how do we play with that design idea? I kind of had like a Nautilus thing going on at one point. And so there were a bunch of different original ideas that happened throughout that. And then here's me playing with it inside of Illustrator. So I decided to go maybe more in the cracker action direction. I made like one big hexagon, and I went back to the circle idea, and that's where we came to this. And this is the very first thing that sort of like became what you see here. And so this design then went on to have these chevrons added, and then I sent that to Brandon, and Brandon made some adjustments and made those chevrons bigger, and like Brandon really liked this idea. And then this is the final thing. We kind of turned the circular bits into kind of semi-chevrons, so it's like a combination of both. And that drawing basically became the SquiddyWH right here. Like this drawing basically became what I am physically holding, which first of all is just really cool, that like there's my drawing and now here's the final product. But at the same time, it makes me really happy that we were able to go through all of these iterations and sort of talk about it and decide what might be best, because we really did want to put a lot of work and a lot of effort into this thing. A few of the things I do want to sort of talk about, because people have asked a lot of questions about this thing, and I want to address some of those questions. One of the first ones being, is the balance any different than the other Squiddies? And the answer is yes and no. Yes, it is different than the original Squiddy, obviously. It is better balanced, but it is really not that different from the Squiddy-B. And the reason for that is the Squiddy-B is already my favorite flipping Squiddy. And so I just wanted to kind of take that platform and make it even more flippable. And the main thing I wanted to do for that is add grip, along with, you know, making it look cool. But, yeah, so the main thing I was attacking here was the grip, not the balance, because I believe that the Squiddy-B is already a pretty much good enough balance for what it is. And then on top of that, the other thing I was thinking of is, so people asked, will we add like different colors to the handles, or will we add different like inserts for the paw print? And the answer is probably no from Squid Industries. However, you should definitely check out Zippy Balisong, because I have a feeling he'll probably create some sort of inserts for these little paw print pieces, and he has end caps which do fit the Squiddy. And so if for some reason the handles aren't exactly heavy enough for you and you want a little bit more of a handle bias, you can get the Zippy end caps which support a weight system, and that would allow you to adjust the balance. But for me, the balance on this thing is actually pretty sick. Like I find it to be quite flippable. And especially with those added grip features, I find it to be very, very flippable, as you can see, as I drop it. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, let me know. I really think that the orange O-ring makes the whole thing pop. And so I'm really, really happy that we're doing that. Also, the logo on this one, which is the slightly older one, is the more correct looking logo, whereas this logo got a little squished before it got sent to me. We fixed that, and so the logo no longer looks squished, but I did find that a little bit funny. But yeah, I'm really excited for this product. I really hope you guys like it. The boxes literally just came in the other day, and as soon as I took them out of the packaging, I was like, oh, that's really good. I was personally a little bit afraid that the silver wouldn't stand out against this bright of an orange, and so I wanted to play with that, but man, it really does. It really looks good against that orange, and I'm pretty happy about that. So yeah, this video should probably be longer, but the camera is really hurting my head. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be getting a better camera mount because I need it. Holy crap. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I guess I'll see you later. Let me try to make a thumbnail. How many of these can I hold? Crap. We gotta make a thumbnail. Oh god, we gotta make a thumbnail, guys. Guys, we gotta make a. Oh god, because nobody. If I don't make a thumbnail, then nobody's gonna watch the video, and that would be terrible. We can't have that. What if people don't watch my video, and then I'd feel sad? Oh shit, I fucked it up. Oh god. Oh god, oh god, and the camera's falling, and I'm trying to make the thumbnail. This is so embarrassing, you guys. Is that good? Is that a thumbnail? Is that the thumbnail? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Did I do it? Is that the thumbnail? Peace.